So I spent such a huge part of my life living in fear. Fear of failure, fear of not living up to other people's expectations, fear of not making everyone happy, fear of not being the person who steps up all the time, and fear of not being liked. So much fear, and obviously that then relates into like so much self-judgment, so much beating myself up for not being good enough, because I just had such unrealistic expectations for myself. And that's what a perfectionist is. We are constantly trying to please everyone. We want to make everyone happy. We put our needs way below everybody else's needs. And what ends up happening is we just never live in the moment. We're constantly worrying about what the future holds, and constantly reminiscing or getting stuck on things we did in the past, and could we have said things differently, done things differently, and constantly just on this like hamster wheel of expectation after expectation. And the thing is, perfectionists also are generally very driven individuals, because that's why they care about what they do and who they are. And letting go of perfectionism doesn't mean that you stop having goals and you stop having drive and ambition. What it does mean is that you have realistic goals and expectations of yourself and others. You also are allowed to celebrate your wins, because perfectionists never do. Once they hit a goal or a benchmark, or they achieve something, they just jump straight onto the next one and never give themselves the opportunity to reward themselves and realize what hard work they've put in. And so, letting go of perfectionism is about creating success with freedom from your mind, freedom from expectations of others, freedom from giving a shit what other people think about your life and the way you do it. I've made some horrendous financial decisions in my life, and sometimes I sit here and I think, gosh, things could have been so different if I'd done things differently. But one, it is what it is, and as long as you learn from your mistakes. But also creating freedom for myself. It doesn't mean you all have to pack up and move to a tropical island on the other side of the world like I have. Freedom could be being able to spend more time with your family, just freedom from your thoughts. Having that constant stream of self-judgment and belittling yourself and making yourself feel less worthy is exhausting mentally, but physically as well. It takes it out of you. What happens in your mind manifests itself in your body. And so that's why perfectionists burn out, because they've got so much going on in their head and they're just constantly pushing. And you can't maintain that level of intensity. You're in fight or flight constantly. And so really, letting go of perfectionism is not about lowering your standards. It's not about becoming complacent. It's not about letting go of goals and drive and ambition. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Letting go of perfectionism gets you to your goals. It allows you to see opportunities that you never saw before because you were so rigid in your thinking and sticking to the plan. It allows you to open up your life in your world to all the possibilities that it could be. It allows you to go after your goals with passion and integrity and authenticity, because they're your goals this time. They're not everybody else's goals. So, I could talk all day on perfectionism, because, it's something I've lived with and continue to live with. Perfectionism is a journey. Whenever there's something new that comes into my life, those old triggers can still come up. But what I've mastered is being able to identify those triggers and have the tools to be self-aware and be able to manage them and move on. So instead of me spiraling now into weeks and months of depression and anxiety, now I might have a day or two where I feel a bit out of sorts, but then I'm okay, I'm back on track. And I've grown from it, I've learned from it instead of dwelling in it. So yeah, it's best to let go of perfectionism because you are a beautiful, authentic person. And I know those sound like real buzz coachy words, but it's true. The minute you start to live life for you, you actually make the lives of everyone else around you that much better, which is what you wanted at the end of the day.